Evening. Everybody's having a good time. Everyone loves fried chicken. Thank you. I'd just like to start off with a small story from when Conor and I were in high school. So back in 2003, Conor and I were interning for Senator John Kerry. Surprise, surprise. And what we would do is we would leave Wellesley every morning, our suburb, and we'd take the train in to work, take the train home together. And at the end of the first week, Conor had to work late. Surprise, again. So I hopped on the train, and I got on the train and I started going. We passed stop after stop, and I realized I wasn't home yet. I was getting further away from the suburbs. And it was about 23 stops in where I decided to call Conor, and I said, "Hey, Conor, I'm in a place called Dorchester." Conor's response immediately was, "Put away your cell phone. Don't look anybody in the eye the wrong way. I'm gonna be there in 45 minutes to come get you." After working an 80-hour week, which is light for Conor, let's remember that, Conor came all the way out, grabbed me at the station. We both went home. It was an hour-and-a-half trip out of his night. The point of this story is that, Alyssa, the way that I see Conor look at you, the way I hear about how Conor talks about you, I know that Conor would go to Dorchester. He would go beyond. He would go to the ends of the earth for you.
Yay!
Even Dorchester. Thank you.
Hey everybody, can you hear me? My name is Caitlin Hurley. I'm Conor's older sister.
A little louder.
A little louder.
Just
Oh, okay, sorry. Good.
Kiss it, literally.
Let me get it.
I don't think it's you. I think it's the.
And so thanks for being here with us. We're so happy to be here and celebrate this moment with Conor and Alyssa. I just wanted to say that last night at the rehearsal dinner, we were sharing a lot of family childhood stories. We heard a lot of interesting anecdotes about Alyssa and Ben and chapstick tattoos. And we heard all about the many things they've done together. And as an older sister, I can say that it's truly like one of life's great joys to have younger siblings. Siblings are a total blessing, and Conor has been a blessing in my life throughout all of my life, really. And when we met Alyssa for the first time 6 years ago, it was clear right from the start how much she loved Ben and how much she loved Sherry and Rob too. So I think that means the world to us, and we know that we're so happy to embrace Alyssa as our new sister, Ben as a brother, and Sherry and Rob as a family too. So I'll let you do that.
So not only is Conor a little brother, but he is also a big brother. And he is sandwiched between the two of us girls. And he, as I think Ben and Conor can attest about older siblings, it's a great joy of older siblings to mess with your younger siblings. And so I spent a lot of time following Conor and doing what he wanted to do, and that ended up meaning a lot of sports, playing knockout in the driveway, playing baseball, playing pickle, wrestling, Madden. But as a lot of you might know, Conor is not necessarily keen to losing, and he likes to be competitive. So he's not opposed to blocking a 5-year-old shot. I will say that. He will slam dunk anything that you try to get in, whether you're as tall or not. He will cheat at games. He's been known to cheat a couple times. And he will do just about anything. And what we learned about Alyssa pretty early on is that she also has a bit of a competitive streak in her. So we are fond of games at the Hurley house, and so when Alyssa would come for Christmases, she would join in, obviously. And I remember a couple Settlers of Catan games where they looked at each other for about 10 minutes negotiating whether or not they could both cheat each other out of a certain situation.
And these are long games.
Yeah, these games already take about 3 hours, so debating for an extra 10 minutes about whether or not you can cheat isn't really affecting the pace of the game. And so they looked
It wasn't cheating.
You can't move your settlement after you put it down. So we've learned about Alyssa that she also likes to be competitive and fun and engaged. And that's why we think that she is the best sister that we could add to our family. And we're so excited to have an extra sister. And now we're really outnumbering Conor, so that's even better.
Yes.
And another person to make sure he doesn't cheat. So, to Conor and Alyssa, we're so happy for you, and we're so happy to join everybody into our family.
Next, I'd like to welcome brother of the bride. Put your hands together for Ben Miller.
I don't know what you got, but it's gonna be on Snapchat for like 18 seconds.
So I'm going to ask everybody to put your glasses up. This is so I can keep my speech short. For those of you that met Alyssa in Florida or after Florida, she worked in politics as voter file director, which meant she worked entirely with numbers. For those of you that knew Alyssa from before her time in Florida, you knew that she hated math. We used to drop her off at summer school when we were younger. And we had a little chant that we would say every single morning. On her way out of the car, our mother and I would look at her and we'd say, "Math is fun, you can do it." The point of this is Alyssa has always been someone who, when she puts her mind to something, she goes out and she accomplishes it. As a little brother, that is the most outstanding quality I think you can look for in a role model and an inspiration. And when I met Conor, I could recognize those same qualities, and they made the perfect couple. So here is to Alyssa and Conor. Math is fun. The two of you can do it.
Hi everybody, I'm Alfred Miller Jr., not actually related to the Millers.
But we're happy to.
But I will start by saying that I'm sorry that you will no longer be a Miller. We shared a last name, of course. But, so I want to talk, so I've known Conor, I guess, since we were 14. We started high school together, and I absolutely hated him. I thought that he was fake, I think is the best word that I used at that time. But we grew to be very fast friends. I remember spending how many hours sitting in front of our auditorium, making a veterans memorial for all of the, I guess, the veterans who had passed away. This is back in like 2003. He decided to list all 13, how many?
146.
There we go. 1,346 names of soldiers who had passed away, and I was like, who is this kid? Why is this happening? But I grew to know Conor, and I love him dearly. But here's the bad story. So Conor calls me at 2 a.m. because every phone call begins with Conor at 2 a.m. Conor calls me at 2 a.m. and says, "Hey, you know, like this girl that I know she's gonna come up to Boston because Conor and I always get together around Christmas time. We have for the last too many years. Anyway, and so it's New Year's Eve, which I later learned was Alyssa's favorite holiday. It's not a holiday. New Year's Eve is not the holiday. New Year's Day is the holiday. But so New Year's Eve, and we are on the trolley, which is in Boston. It's anyway. We're on the train, and Alyssa and I had just met. Again, I too hated Alyssa. because I was like, who is this girl? Why is she, like, what is going on? But so we're sitting on the trolley, and Alyssa, so we're sitting on the trolley, and a girl gets on the train, and she had the most sparkly pants we've ever seen. They were leggings. Leggings, by the way, are not pants. Hard stop. Leggings, guys, leggings are not pants. Full stop. Period. Point blank. But these were the most sparkly things I've ever seen. They were silver. They shined. If I put a flashlight, you would have been blinded. And Alyssa just kind of looks at her and goes, "What are you doing?" And immediately I said, "Yes! I agree! What?" And it was that moment that I realized that Alyssa's great. That Alyssa is great. And you know what? I just wish for the two of you to be so happy together. And what I've been told, I'm not married, but what I've been told is that the bride and groom rarely get to sort of have a moment. So I would love for the two of you to just have a moment together and say cheers. And I love you both. Cheers. Cheers. I can't say any of the other words.
So I've already informed the DJ that if this goes too long and rambling, he's to play music and I'm supposed to leave. So you guys don't have to be subjected to anything too long and monotonous. Alyssa and I have always said that when we met in August of 2008, it was love at first sight. And she has been my person for 8 years. She and I have a very unnatural love for Taylor Swift. We have actually choreographed a dance to the song Love Story. And if you guys were listening before we came out, we actually did it. No.
I think we can do Taylor Swift. Yeah, do it up.
I believe this song is being played when we go to dance, so you guys can see it then. Okay? What makes Alyssa my person and a very best friend are the lengths that she will go to be your friend. After a breakup that, quite honestly, was stupid for me to be so upset over, Alyssa created an entire playlist out of Taylor Swift songs as a Taylor Swift step grieving process that I was not to move on to the next song until I moved past that grieving process to get to acceptance. And it actually worked. Alyssa is also the person who watches Harry Potter marathons, and just so you know, there was a marathon this past weekend. We were aware of it. Alyssa is the person that went at midnight to go to the Twilight premiere. Yes, we were grown individuals, not teenagers, going to a Twilight premiere at midnight and then stopped at Cold Stone, where Alyssa got furious at the Cold Stone employee because she swore that they stole her idea for ice cream cupcakes. Alyssa is a fierce friend, a fantastic woman. And Conor is the best horse. Conor knows to pull her up when she needs it. Conor knows to back off when she just wants to fly free. Conor knows to always encourage. And when I talked to Alyssa the other day, I asked her about their relationship and why it worked. And what Alyssa said was, when one of us is higher than the other, when one of us is doing better than the other, that other person always builds that person up even more. They always have each other's backs. Conor is always taking care of Alyssa, and Alyssa is always taking care of Conor. And I could not come up with a better person to be with my person. So, be good to each other, love each other, and I continue to look forward to the 2:30 a.m. phone calls.